Today you guys are completing your task sheet. So tasks 1, 2, and 3 are all a review of what you did over the last week and a half. So those should be pretty easy for you. Task 4 is very similar to what we did in class yesterday. And so we are going to make sure that this is very clear for you. So in this first example here, we're going to take a look at the first box. So what we had said yesterday is if we have an equation, it's easiest to draw this border to separate my left side from the right side. The first actual step of solving is to always get rid of parentheses. We get rid of parentheses by distributing the number that was in front of it to both of the terms that were inside the parentheses. So on the left, we have a 3 times 3m. 3 times 3 is 9, and there's an m there. 3 times a negative 2 is the number negative 6. If we look at our right side, we still have parentheses over here too, so we need to distribute the number in front into both terms that were inside the parentheses. A 2 times a 3 is a 6m. Again, 2 times 3, this time is just a positive 6 because there's no letter with that 3. So now this looks exactly like what we did in class yesterday. So we have variables. The letter m is on the left side and it's on the right side of the equation. We call that variables on both sides. So in order to solve this, I need for my variable to move to the side with the other variable. So if this is a 6m, I need to subtract 6m and subtract 6m. That makes this go away. 6 minus 6 is 0, so there are no m's on the right anymore. 9m's minus 6m's is 3m's. And then in this problem, there is a minus 6, an equal sign, and a positive 6. So again, this is a very easy two-step equation. You guys are very comfortable with this. You take your constant and you add it to both sides. Negative 6 plus 6 is 0, so it makes that term go away. That leaves me with a 3m equals 12. So my last step is to get m by itself. This was 3 times m. So to undo multiplication, I need to divide by 3. So that leaves me with m equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. Very easy. So go ahead and take this idea and try the second example. Example 2. Try the same idea here. When you're ready, let's take a look at this third box. This third box is definitely the ugliest of the questions that we've done so far, but it's not too bad. So what we have here are lots of fractions. If you struggle with fractions, then in your calculator, there's a button that says Control, and then there's a button for Divide. So if you press Control and then the divide symbol, that will allow you to type these fractions into the calculator. I'm going to show you how to solve it without the calculator, but you're welcome to practice Control Divide to simplify your fractions. So what I have, again, is parentheses. So I need to begin by getting rid of my parentheses. So I start with a 1 over 8 times 3. When I multiply fractions, what we do is the top times the top over the bottom times the bottom. 3 is the same as 3 over 1. So the top times top, 1 times 3 is the number 3. There's a D with that 3. And then bottom times bottom, 8 times 1 is the number 8. 1 over 8 times 2. Again, I'm going to call that 2 over 1. 1 times 2 is the number 2. 8 times 1 is the number 8. 2 over 8. This will reduce because they're both even. I can cut those numbers in half, and I get the number 1/4. So it's minus 1 over 4. So now there's my equal sign in the middle. And again, I need to distribute to get rid of parentheses. 1/4 times d is just 1/4 with a d. You can put it on the top or on the side. It's the same thing. 1/4 times 5 is the same as 1/4 times 5 over 1. 1 times 5 is the number 5. 4 times 1 is the number 4. So now we need to get the letters on one side and the numbers on the other. So I'm going to subtract this 1/4 d and subtract 1/4 d. If you are struggling with these fractions, you are welcome to go to the calculator and press Control Divide. 3 over 8 minus Control Divide 1 over 4. So when you subtract 3/8 minus 1/4, to subtract fractions going way back to 4th grade, our denominators have to be the same. So that would be an 8. 4 times 2 is 8. So I have to times 2 on the top as well. 3 minus 2 is 1/8 d. Minus 1/4 equals 5 over 4. We need to move the constant to the right. Plus 1/4, plus 1/4. I'm going to rewrite it over here. So 5 over 4 plus 1 over 4, the denominators are the same, so I can add the top, the numerator. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 over 4 will reduce to 3 over 2. So now what we did last class is we took this fraction and I just rewrote it as 1d over 8. It's the same thing. So I need to times 8. To get rid of the divide by 8, we just multiply by 8. I'm going to times 8 over here. Times 8 is the same as times 8 over 1. 3 times 8 is 24. Divided by 2 times 1 is 2. 24 divided by 2 is the number 12. If you struggled with that in the operations with fractions, practice Control Divide, and you can use that to type in 1 over 8 times 3 or 1 over 8 times 2. Makes your life a little bit easier. So in example 4, you guys are going to practice with decimals, much easier than fractions. You are welcome to use a calculator to practice 0.4 times 10, 0.4 times 2, and then you would continue with this from here. Once you have all 4 boxes complete, raise your hand and your teacher will come sign for this box.